done with me. We'll see how this goes, but I wanted to show you a tip for grading quickly in Google Classroom. So I'm going to use the same assignment that I showed you, that I linked to my Google site. I'm going to go in, I'm going to edit, and I'm going to show you how to add a rubric and create a rubric. This will make grading really fast. So you click over here on rubric, on the plus sign. You have three options. You can either create a rubric in Google Classroom, you can reuse a rubric that you've made previously, or you can import a rubric that you've made in Sheets. I am going to go ahead and show you how to create a rubric first. So your criterion is your what you're going to be evaluating your students on. So I have three types of assignments. My students, they earn 80% for completing their must-do assignment, 90% for completing must-do and should-do, and 100% for completing must-do, should-do, and aspire-to assignments. So I'm going to go ahead and create those must-do, should-do, and aspire-to assignments as my three different criteria. All right, so I'm going to show you a really awesome tool within Google Classroom to speed up your grading for all of your assignments, and that is using a rubric. So I'm going to take my assignment that I created in my last tutorial. I'm going to click edit, and there are three ways that you can add a rubric to any Google Classroom site. The first way is to create a rubric to be evaluated on that's really based off of the three types of assignment in Google Classroom. When you do this, it will be named according to the assignment that you created in. So this one, it's not necessarily going to match, but it'll say Ecosystem Interactions Assignment. So for my assignments, there are three different criteria my students are going to be evaluated on that's really based off of the three types of assignment in Google. So my must-do assignments, my should-do assignments, and my aspire-to assignments. In my class, students will earn 80% by completing just the must-do assignments. They'll earn 90% if they complete the must-do and should-do, and they'll earn 100% by completing the must-do, should-do, and aspire-to. That's because I give a credit, no credit system where they're able to go back, complete the must-do, should-do, and aspire-to assignments with revisions. So my first criterion is going to be my must-do. That's my son in the background. I'm going to add in a criterion description. I've already kind of created this, and so I'm going to just copy and paste, so bear with me as I do that. So I say for my must-do, all students are required to do the must-do assignments with 100% completion and detailed responses. Students will be asked to revise their work if it does not meet the standards established. As I said, students get 8 points if this is completed. My description, meaning like what does it mean if they've completed it? It means that they did it with 100% accuracy and details are provided. And then I can go through and I can say, okay, maybe they did it with 50% accuracy and 50% complete. You can add those things. For my class, it's an all or nothing because I asked them to do revisions. But if this were for like a claim evidence reasoning passage, I might say they provided good evidence, but not sufficient evidence. And I might say you get 4 points, 3 points, 2 points, and you can break down the different levels. So for each of these, you can add in a description for that level. And so I say must-do assignment, in my case, needs to be revised to correct misconceptions, finish the assignment completely, or add details to make responses more complete. Now that's my first criterion. You can add another criterion. I'm going to close out my video because it's blocking by clicking add criterion down here. Or if you like the layout of this, but you just want to change a couple things, you can click on these three dots up at the top right, click duplicate criterion, and then edit this here. So all I'm going to do is change a couple of these features, change the point values, because in my case, my students just get an additional 1 point. So bear with me as I edit this. And then for my last one, I'm going to duplicate it again. This is my aspire to. And if you're interested in these three types of assignments, you can check out the Modern Classroom Project. They offer a free course on kind of creating a blended learning classroom, which has really inspired me. So I'm gonna just quickly add in some of these descriptions here, make sure that they are accurate. And then I know that I'm going to want to save this for this assignment. So I click save up here. And now it's attached to this assignment. It shows me there are 3 different criteria my students will be evaluated on for a total of 10 points. You'll also notice that the points in the rubric do not necessarily match up with the assignment. That is because Google Classroom will scale your grading based off of the points that you assign in Google Classroom. So in this case, if I wanted to keep the assignment as 100 points, it would make the must-do assignments worth 80 points, the should-do assignments worth 10, and aspire to 10 as well. That's fine if that works for you as well. And then you can always go back in if you want to change this, and it'll be right here with your descriptions. The other thing that you can do, and I highly suggest this if you want to play around adding in sheets, and this is the second way of doing, or adding in rubrics, this is the second way I'll show you, is exporting this rubric to sheets. So you click that, it takes a second, and then you click view, and this will pop up. So this is the same rubric, but it's now editable in a sheet. Google, when you import a rubric from a Google Sheet back into Google Classroom, it's editable. So go ahead and try it out. It has you name the different criterions, descriptions, those different levels, the names and descriptions are all there. So I'll create a template for you and attach it to this video if you guys want to try creating your rubrics in a spreadsheet. So if I switch over to a student view real fast, you can see that once I've added a rubric, it will fall below the assignment directions and any documents or links, and it's included right there so students know right away when they're looking at this assignment what they'll be evaluated on, and they can expand it to see how the points are broken down by this assignment. So that's really nice, so students can see right up front what it is they are expected to do and how they will be evaluated. So the second way to add a rubric that I'm going to show you is importing one from Sheets. So as you saw when I created the rubric within Google Classroom and exported it, you will see it will open it in Sheets, and it will be titled the title of your assignment. So my rubric that I'm going to be looking for is called Ecosystem Interactions Assignment. I go in here, import from Sheets. And there it is. It's going to open up the rubric builder within Google Classroom. You can then go through and edit it so that in case it didn't import perfectly, or you want to change things, you can do that within here. Then you click save to your assignment rate. It's thinking. And now that rubric with the 3 criteria are here. So the next thing that I'm going to show you is how to use your rubrics your grading. So I'm going to close out of this. I'm going to view the assignment. I went ahead and turned in assignment. I made myself a student. I turned in a blank document just so we could see how this works. So when you are viewing student work, you will see the rubric right below their name if you click on their name. But one of the things that I find really valuable and efficient is to click on their actual assignment if that is what you're going to be evaluating. For my students, right, they had to attach documents, so I know that I need to be looking at their documents. You can find all of the files that they've attached over here. So if they attach 2 documents, those both will show up here. And then your rubric is here. So you can expand each of these criteria and then select the level, or you can close them, and then depending on how many levels you have, there will be the same number of shaded boxes. And if you hover over it, it will tell you 1 point and the title of that level. So this is completed, or this says 8 points and completed, 0 points, revisions needed. You access the rubric by clicking on this grading symbol here, and then you can either return the work as you go, or if you have multiple submissions, you can click return multiple submissions. So you'll also notice that as I edited through, if I go through and fill out this rubric completely, it will auto update the grade here based off of these percentages here. So that is how to create rubrics in Google Classroom. That is how to import a rubric that you've created in Sheets. And once you've done either of those 2 things, you can then reuse a rubric that you've used on a previous assignment or in a different class. So any questions about using rubrics in Google Classroom, please let me know.